Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Got a ARCA race for you. This is the last one for the season for 2021. We are week 12 here at Texas Motor Speedway. This is the 2008 version, and we are going to struggle. It's a mile and a half, it's ARCA, it's tire saving. We know I'm terrible at most of those, so just gonna go out, try to get what we can. Going out for qualifying right now. Guessing based on what I was able to do in practice. In terms of qualifying, we're probably going to be about 2 to 3 tenths off, so we're just going to have to try to put in as good of a lap as we possibly can, see what we can do, and go from there. I just have not learned how to push these cars to the limit without losing it. You know, guys in qualifying are able to do a lot more. You can see I missed the corner there through 1 and 2, just was not low enough, so gonna call it a throwaway lap, but also gonna try to get what we can out of 3 and 4 here without losing it, which is what we're about to do. Somehow managed to save it. We don't, and there it goes. The lap's done, and we're not gonna be able to get out in time to get another one. So looks like we'll be starting from the back. Just gonna try to get across the line, see if we can get a lap in, so we can at least be in front of a few more people. Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm trying to push it as hard as I can, get as fast as I can, and just have not figured out how to keep it from stepping over that edge. Probably my fault for using a 10 to 1 steering ratio. I'm a little bit better, a little more comfortable with 16 to 1, and that's what I'll switch to for the race, but just completely on me. Hopefully we're going to be able to get around in time to complete this lap and at least turn a time in without any incident points. Just taking it real easy, just trying to get the car across the line so at least we score a lap. Doesn't matter how slow it is. Hopefully there's a couple of people that didn't qualify and we can at least start in front of them. We're 18th out of 22. We are car number 15, I believe. So top 10 with this will make me happy. Yeah, you can see we're the last one. So at least bumped us up. Looks like it would have bumped us up 1 spot technically. So starting on the outside is not the best thing. Maybe we should have not done that, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, even if we could have ran somewhere, we'd probably be mid-pack 10th or 11th. So just gonna try to do the best that we can to keep the car in one piece, try to work our way up through the traffic, but also try to save tires. I think that's going to be our only chance at trying to get through. Most of the races I've seen in this week have been fairly clean. A few wrecks, but not anything major. You know, not like a ton of wrecks where if you just avoid those, you're going to pick up a ton of spots. It's going to be hopefully having a little more pace than some of the guys back here, and also trying to tire save compared to them while avoiding whatever wrecks do happen. The goal for next season is to really work on any class that I'm running. Doesn't matter whether it's ARCA, trucks, late models, whatever. Really want to try to work on knowing how to qualify better. Because I think sometimes I'm getting closer on race pace to the top, 3 or 5. Not always there, but starting to close that gap down a little bit. So I think the finishes will be even more improved by me learning how to qualify well and really get myself up into the top third of a field or so. Whereas, when I try to push it and try to gain all I can, I end up struggling really bad. So probably would have been better for me to have just taken the lap a little easy, at least log something, although I don't, with how far off, my race pace is to my qualifying, I don't know how much it would have really gained us. So just going to try to make the most of it, see if we can, most importantly, get a 0x race in, try to avoid everything, try to keep the car clean, and try to move up if we can. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this. This being in the back like this, we shouldn't have a lack of cars to run around for at least half the race, and hopefully we can try to make some moves and get around people. Not really sure where the 7 cars are going exactly. Kind of just pulled to the inside of the 17 and then he's going to sit there. So
in the outside column.
Just going to do what we can. Try to make this as clean as we can. Gonna uncheck fuel just in case we have to come in and use the fast repair. Switch back to the relative, and see if we can continue our streak of we've had some decent finishes, at least for me compared to where I was. Again, they're not great overall in the strength of fields. Based on the time when I've been running, and B, my I rating have not been super great, but starting to make a little bit of progress. So yeah, just gonna try to see what we can do. This will probably, maybe this will be a similar race to how the C-Class truck fixed race was at Nashville Super Speedway last week, where, you know, I started towards the back and had the pace and moved up and could have had a better, you know, finish if I would have been qualified a little bit further. But, you know, we are where we are, so we just got to make the most out of what we've been dealt, what I did to myself, and you know, I know what to try to work on going forward, but for right now, just got to focus on driving the race as clean as I can. Pace car should be getting ready to pull off relatively soon. Not sure why the 14 and 20 are hanging back so far.
Green, green, green.
Get a late start, almost get ran into because the outside line just doesn't go. We're going to give up a ton of spots with that. Puts almost to the back of the pack, but yeah, I don't really know what happened there. Got one car all the way to the bottom. Looks like that's the 20 that went all the way to the bottom, so we just kind of gained one spot back from that bad start. Not really sure what happened on the start. Let's see if we can get by the 12 going down the back stretch into 3 without pushing the tires too hard. Got to try to gain as many spots as I can as quickly as I can while still trying to tire save. So got him on the outside. We're going to kind of get held up by the 19 here on the outside. Actually, going to go to the outside of the 19 now. See if we can get by him. He seems to be a lot slower than the 12. 12 got a really good run on the outside. We got one car that just blinked up there. It looks like that would be the 13. So we're going to have to watch out for him. He's still blinking. Got the 12 right in front of us as well. We hopefully should be able to catch back up to him. Trying to make sure that I lift off the throttle enough to save the right front without having to use too much steering deflection through the corners, while still getting the bottom of the track and being able to, you know, get the car to rotate and set up. Again, trying to get in tire saving mode as quickly as I can while seeing if we can pick up some spots. We've picked up 2 from our starting position, but, you know, still got a long way to go to that top 10. Don't think a top 5 is going to happen. If a top 5 somehow did happen, I think it's going to be a combination of Rex and also, you know, getting the benefit of maybe people really struggling at tire saving, but I doubt that's going to be the case. So 12's running really high. Not sure if he got on the throttle too early. He's going to get into the wall. We're going to watch him coming off. Got a little loose off the corner, trying to turn down to avoid him, but at least able to avoid him, so that gets this one spot cleanly. Trying to do a better job of, you know, watching out for that stuff and predicting that happening ahead, so that way I can make a more gradual move to avoid it and kind of know what's going to happen, rather than having to react last minute, get involved in something. Got a couple cars running 3 wide up here. 13's trying to make it 3 wide almost now. In between the 7 and the 14, he was blinking, but it seems to be a little bit better now, so we're just going to keep an eye on that. Watch out for any contact between these 3 up here. See if we can start working our way towards them, but also watch out for whatever happens, because the 13 just blinks again, so that could easily cause contact and a wreck. And with us being this far back, we should have the ability to try to avoid that if one does happen. No pressure back from the 12. Seems like he might have had another problem falling the way back. We got the 19 back. We'll check that gap at the line. Try to keep an eye on what it's doing. Kind of overshot the corner a little bit there. Able to lift off enough to try to get it back down, but probably put a little bit too much stress on the right front. You can see the 19 is 0.7 back, and we are 1.0 back of the 7 at the line. So see if we can maintain the gap out to the 19 out back and try to close up on the 7 if we can. If we can get by these 3, that'll be for 12, so you can see the 10th is already starting to pull away. But again, not sure how much they're doing tire saving compared to us, so don't know if we'll have a shot at the top 10, but I would assume a 12th place, being the number 15 car, could possibly get us close to a break even in terms of iRating, so. Looks like we are starting to catch the 7 a little bit, kind of maintaining the same gap with the 19 out behind. Just kind of logging laps right now. Coming up to a little bit under a quarter of the way through the run, so long way to go still. Plenty of time to try to pick up some time on people and you know, plenty of time to also trash the tires, so gotta still be cognizant of that, try to do the best that we can to conserve tires. If I can keep the right sides above like 75, 76% by the end of the race, I will be very happy with that. I know that's not as good as some people are able to do, but for me, that's a good step in the right direction, a good goal to shoot for. So seems like the 19 might be closing in a little bit on us, but we are also closing in on the 14 and the 7. 13's kind of pulled away from both of them, so he's still blinking, though. It's going to be a interesting one if we're able to catch him to try to get by him. Looks like they kind of spread out a little bit up in front, a little more single file. Some side-by-side battles going up, looks like for second and third, but everybody's kind of just gotten single file. Looks like everybody's starting to ride and click some laps off, so just going to do the best we can. Looks like we were able to pull away from the 19 a little bit, so not sure if he's trying to get back into tire saving mode or if he had a little mistake that last lap. I did not pay attention out the rearview mirror to see what was going on there. So really kind of focusing on the 3 cars up in front and also trying to watch what the 13's doing blinking wise. 14 may have gotten into the wall there off of 2. I know with how the setup is, it's pretty easy to get the car somewhat tight. Looks like he's driving in a little too hard as he washes up the track. 7's going to try to look to his inside now through the front stretch. Probably be switching over to session last lap in a little bit just to try to make sure that we're not falling off from the laps too hard. 14 gets into the wall. The outside kind of comes off, almost gets into the 7 there down the back stretch. I think he still might be driving a bit too hard, probably trying to hang on to the spot when he's actually doing himself less harm there, or more harm by doing that. Gets into the wall again off of 4. We get into him, he kind of gets into us coming down, thankfully able to keep the car going straight, so that's going to heat up the tires a little bit. We'll have to watch. I think he just came off the wall. I should have been cognizant of that, probably not swung up quite as hard, but 13 has an issue there, just pulls to the inside of the track. Not sure what happened there because that car's smoking. That was kind of weird how he just pulled down the inside of the track like that, but at least that's another spot. 14 still overdriving it. 19 closes up on us a little bit because of that contact we had with the 14 last lap, and we lost a little bit of time to the 7, but we should be able to try to go after him. So sitting in 13th now, using too much wheel now, got to get back into tire saving mode instead of trying to catch up to the 7. We're going to switch to session last lap now, just try to find some consistency and make sure we're doing a little bit better with tire saving. You can see I happened to torch 3 and 4 there really bad, just did not get off the throttle a little too early and had some problems. Looks like 13 disconnected now, might have been because of connection issues. Gonna lift a little bit earlier, try to hold off from full throttle a little bit longer, see if we can try to be a little more gentle on the right front tire. 7's pulling away from us. He might be doing a better job at tire saving and might be having pace, or he might just be pushing a little bit harder now. We're gonna try to stay back in tire saving mode because we're only getting ready to complete 15, so 15 down, 20 to go, not even halfway there yet. You can see 1.1 out back to the 14, 1.4 out to the 7, so we'll keep an eye on both of those gaps. Overshot that corner a little bit, so didn't quite get down soon enough. It's going to cost us time to the 7 as well as the 10 and the 17 out front. Hopefully we didn't overheat the right front too much there. Trying to work on taking those more gradual arcs so that I avoid not overloading the right front, not bleeding off quite so much speed. Looks like we're pulling away from the 14 behind, but not keeping up with the 7 up front, so might be a 13th place finish depending on what happens with tires the last half of the race for everybody. We're going to be approaching halfway on a couple of laps. Got one car way down low on the track. Not sure if that's a lap car. We'll see as we start to get a little bit closer to them. Might be a position we could possibly be gaining if they're damaged and off the pace and they're not a lap down. See the 7's really starting to gain on the 10 and the 17, so start keeping an eye on the gap on the 17 and see if we're closing in on them at all or not. Pulling away from the 14 behind, so feel pretty good about that out there. No pressure really from behind. So it's 2.9 to the 21 who's in 10th. That was the slow car we saw have the problem down low on the backstretch. Keep an eye on that gap, see if they're pulling away. You got 4 cars in line there. Not really any side-by-side racing yet, but you never know what could happen if they end up trying to run each other hard. A little too much of the apron, starts to almost rotate the car a little too much. Kind of come off the corner a little too hard. You can see we lost about 2/10 there. Most of that was due to us driving the lap a little bit slower, so just got to try to lift a little bit sooner, wait a little bit longer to get in the throttle, try to be a little more gentle on the car, and know that maybe the last 10 laps we might be able to try to get back there. Otherwise, this is about as far as we're going to go, so hopefully we can try to pick up a spot, but it's going to be pretty tough with the gap. You can see we're able to maintain the same gap this time, so got the 7 trying to look at the back of the 10. Not sure how aggressive he's going to be or if there'll be any contact or anything. Seems like he'd been running pretty respectful, but we got some side-by-side racing also between the 21 and the 10, so see what happens there, if that allows us to close in on him at all. As of right now, it looks like we might pick up a 10th. 21 falls to the back 7 and 10 both get by him. Probably broke even, maybe gained a 10th on those 3 cars overall, so with 14 to go, we're going to really have to start picking up a ton. Just don't think tires are going to fall off enough for them compared to us, unless they've really been pushing it hard. So probably a 13th place finish. Doesn't look like there's any pressure from behind. The 14's fallen back, 12's actually moved up to 14th now. So gonna see what we can do. Like I said, it's been a pretty clean race overall. We just had that issue with the 14, so it's probably the difference again in qualifying. If I would have qualified a little bit better, you know, maybe we could have had a shot at the top 10 or even maybe, you know, top 7, something like that. It's just the difference there when, you know, I shoot myself in the foot to start the race. Track position at these 1.5 miles is huge. It's not easy to make up time. We're going to get a free spot here. The 6 has problems and head into the pit road. So at least move us up to 12. Kind of broke even again, lap time wise, with the 3 up front, so just got to try to do what we can. Probably put a little too much wheel into the corners there in 1 and 2. Got another car going way down low. We'll see if that's a lap car. I don't think that is, but could be. We'll know in a couple of laps as I start moving by them. I believe that's the 4-car battle up front though for 9th through, 8th through 11th. Next time by, we will be 25 down with 10 to go. So I got some good close racing up there for 8th through 11th. You can see the 17th fell all the way down from 8th to 11th that lap. He was the one that had the issues and had to pull way to the inside down the backstretch, so some positions changes in his hands up there. Fortunately, we're just a little too far back to try to take advantage of any of that, and I'm driving the car a little too aggressive, I think. Absolutely no pressure from behind. The 12 is almost 2 seconds back, so good side is it keeps me from not having to worry about somebody trying to overdrive it and run into the back of me at all, but you know, frustrating that, again, I'm probably not going to be able to go any further. However, you know, if we're keeping pace with them in a way that makes me feel a little bit better. Leaders are gone, but I knew I wasn't going to have pace for them. This is still by far my worst track. We barely scraped the wall there, just entered a little too high. Trying to take as big of arc as I can and try to ease up on the right front, especially this late in the run. Try to conserve whatever I can out of the car and go after everybody. Don't see any reason to try to change lanes at all. I think this line works. I just gotta be able to execute and drive a little better. It's going to take a miracle to get to the back of the 17 and try to get by him.
31.80.
Trying to have a little bit better corner through. Kind of hurt the car on exit just a little bit, but it seems to have stabilized the lap times.
B12.
Almost felt like I overshot 3 and 4. You can kind of see that in the relative. It's going to start going back, or not the relative, the delta, excuse me. Yeah, we lost 100 through that corner, so probably needed to have lifted a little bit sooner. Let the car roll a little bit. We are slowly gaining on the 17, however, I don't think there's going to be enough time to try to make up the time. I'm starting to try to push it a little bit harder to see if we can get to them. We're going to come across the line this time by to have 6 to go, so it's going to take quite a bit to get to them. But I'm going to try to give it all my all. I got nothing else to lose, and we've got absolutely no pressure from behind as the 12 continues to fall further back, almost 3 seconds now. So, got plenty of time to try to make a move, see if we can get to the 17 at all. Seems like the 17 really has lost touch with the other cars. It's kind of spread out a little bit. Seems like it's a battle with the 7 front, the 21 and the 17 have both fallen off. Probably getting on the throttle a little too early, a little too hard there, but trying to do what I can to make up time. We are definitely making up time on the 17, however, with 5 to go, I don't know if we're going to have enough time to make up the gap that we have. 17 runs a really high line, probably entered in a little too hard. Really trying to gain what I can. We pick up quite a bit off of the corner there. Looks like they're having a little bit of exit issues off of turn 2. Try to get to the hard bottom of the track, try to get a good run through 3 and 4, kind of lose it off of 4 there. Feels the momentum, but we are still gaining. Just going to be really tough with 4 laps to go to make up all this time and get by them. But trying to give it the best that I can. And we just lose it. Just drove it way too hard through the corner, picked up the throttle too early, and just was pushing the right front the entire way. So that's going to kill that run. Don't think we're going to be able to have the pace to make up 1.4 seconds in 3 laps and get by him. So I'll keep trying, do my best, see if I can make a miracle happen, but it looks like it will be a 12th place finish. So it's obviously going to hurt the right front tire numbers as well, but kind of at the point where I got what I got, and I got to try to make the most out of it that I can. So if we can gain some time on the 17, I'll at least feel good knowing that I had better pace at them at the end, which hopefully meant slightly better tires. Gaining just a little bit. Again, this was the benefit of not having any pressure from behind. I could try to attack it. So 2 to go this time. Just trying to run as consistent as I can. Don't think the 17 is going to have any kind of major mishap, but you never know. Somebody could have a connection issue or just all of a sudden lose it. Definitely closing up on them, but again, it would have, even without that mistake off of turn 2 a couple laps ago, it would have taken quite a bit.
White flag, last lap.
On the last lap, just again trying to keep the car going in the right direction. Don't think there's going to be anything that'll happen with the 17 that'll allow us to get by him, but making a move at him. If we can at least gain this lap compared to the last lap, I'll feel happy with that. Back on the throttle, we did gain. Looks like he blinked a little bit, but should be okay. Kind of rotates off 4 a little bit. And we are going to bring it home in 12th. Able to at least get the 0x out of it. Improved our starting position. Able to beat the car numbers, so better than what iRacing thought I should do. And probably difference again between, you know, finishing where I wanted to and where we did was qualifying. So just got to definitely work on that for the next season. And should hopefully be able to get some better finishes then. Jump out, take a look at the tires. You see 69, 83, so rears were not too bad. I'm going to assume the 69 was from, for sure, that one lap when we slid out and got the wall off of turn 2, but, you know, pushing hard at the end as well as, probably pushed a little too hard at the beginning, but Not horrific, not great, but not bad. At least the rear was kind of where we wanted it. Definitely got some work to do with the right front, but tried to do what I could. Let's go take a look and see what happened with that incident trying to get around the 19, I believe it was. Let's see, we were in 13th here, so it's a couple laps back, I believe. Here it is. Okay, so let's rewind this a little bit. So 14's running way up high, gets into the wall off of turn 4. I go way to the inside to try to get by him. Thought I had cleared him, and I actually ended up kind of clipping him a little bit. So definitely was partially on me for coming up. However, you know, at this point, I'm maintaining my line, and you can see kind of comes down a little bit. We were very fortunate to not have a 4X out of that, as that really was kind of more of our fault. Probably should have just held it a little bit lower and kept it, you know, more in the middle here. Knowing that he had been kind of erratic and off the wall, that's just something I need to be a little more preventative of, is that would have prevented that and could have kept us, you know, a little bit closer to the 7, not lost so much time that way. Don't know if it would have made a big difference overall in the finishing position. Possibly could have, given the time we lost to the 17, but not really sure. Just something I got to clean up, because I got lucky enough to save that, and that could have ended quite a bit worse. So just something I need to clean up, be a little more aware of. Kind of hard when you're going this fast on a single screen, but you know, when in doubt, I think I need to give myself a little bit more of a safety margin than that. So let's take a look at the results, see how we did. Hopefully should have gained a decent amount of safety rating out of it, even with the spin in qualifying, and hopefully broke even on iRating. If I can do that, I'll be happy. Early time slot, top split 25.01, so above us, but you know, in terms of iRating, but not a very good strength of field overall. You can see lap time wise, we were about half a second off. Maybe could have turned a little bit of faster if we wouldn't have been stuck in so much traffic at the beginning, but still quite a bit off. Just got a lot to gain on mile and a half. Actually able to gain 9 in iRating, so basically break even. I'm okay with that. Also able to gain 0.08 in the safety, so that's headed in the right direction. Could have been bigger if I wouldn't have had that issue with the 14, and if I would have not had the issue in qualifying as well. But at least headed in the positive direction. Shouldn't have any reason why we shouldn't be in A class by the end of the season. Depending on how many races I get, we might be able to get there before the end of the season. So feel free to leave any comments, any driving tips, your analysis of the little run-in with the 14 and all. Anything else you would have done differently. Just love to hear from you guys in general. So thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. And until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are good, and your finishes are clean. Thanks for watching.